biting him. This freaking guy is a freaking animal. Let's rewind it one more time. This is crazy. He is biting him on the head. He deserves everything that he fucking gets. How do people do kids like this? I don't get it.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
Let's talk about this little boy's injuries, little Corey's injuries. He had a 1.5-inch laceration to his left ventricle of his heart. Damn! Do you know how hard you have to hit somebody to cause some injury to their heart? We ain't talking about to the tissue, to the actual heart. A laceration to his liver, which means he could have bled out, and I'm sure eventually he did. Contusions and bruising to the liver. Internal bleeding, of course, because the liver damage. Guys, all of his systems started failing because of the injuries that his stupid ass father, for what could be a reason to do this for a child? Multiple contusions across vast areas of his body, severe blunt force trauma to his chest, and severe blunt force trauma to his abdomen. Okay, and then we heard a little bit earlier that the mother said that he did not want to be a father, that they only had sex one time. Guess what? Keep your little pecker in your pants. If you don't want to be a father, keep your pecker in your pants. And guys, I don't even know why did you want to continue on seeing the child when you knew all you was going to do was abuse him? This is freaking horrible. So let's talk about Christopher Gregor, the father, who was a former high school football star, please, from Monroe Township in New Jersey. He was convicted in 2024 for aggravated manslaughter of his 6-year-old son, Corey. Gregor's background included he was a freaking honor student. I don't believe that. All-state defense lineman. So he had a lot of aggression, very aggressive type of dude. But you're gonna take your aggressions out on a 6-year-old. Hey, why don't you go to the football field, or why don't you get a punching bag and do something like that? Better yet, why don't you put your ass on a treadmill and put it at unbelievable speeds and do that, okay? And guys, it says that he was also participating in a mentorship program for middle schoolers. Who in the freak would trust their child with this freaking idiot? Gregor met his son on the first time in 2019, and shortly after that, concerns about Corey's well-being started to arise, including reports of bruising and busted lips. Despite multiple reports to Child Protective Services by Corey's mother, no decisive action had been taken. In March of 2021, surveillance footage captured Gregor forcing Corey to run on the treadmill at high speeds, leading to multiple falls. And you saw it, guys. Little boy would fall down, he put him back on the treadmill. Fall down, put him back on the treadmill. Then I saw when he bit him. I don't know if they said anything about any bite marks, but if he wasn't biting him, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it looked like he was biting him to me. So in March of 2021, surveillance footage captured Gregor, forcing Corey to run on the treadmill at high speeds, leading to multiple falls. Corey died April the 2nd, 2021, from blunt force injury. Gregor was sentenced to 25 years in state prison with a minimum of 17 years before being eligible for parole. This guy don't need to get out at all, ever. He don't need to get out. This is a sick individual, and he's fairly young, and 25 years from now, he'll still be able to get out there and maybe have another child. It's horrible. How are you going to mentor some middle schoolers and you don't even do your own child right? This guy is a sick fuck. He's sick.
It was shocking video. A father forcing his young son to run on a treadmill. He was so abusive to the 6-year-old. The boy died just days later. The father has just been found guilty of manslaughter. Now the boy's heartbroken mother is speaking with our Em Mercogliano in this exclusive interview.
It's video that shocked the nation. A 6-year-old forced to run on a treadmill at high speeds. The little boy keeps falling off, and his dad keeps ordering him back on. He falls hard 6 times. 12 days later, prosecutors say Corey Micciolo died from chronic abuse.
I just miss him. And sometimes I just want to say sorry, but I know I tried.
She says her little boy told her about being forced to run on the treadmill.
Because that happened a few times. Like, that video wasn't the first time it happened.
Last week, Corey's father, Christopher Gregor, was found guilty of aggravated manslaughter and child endangerment.
So she said that wasn't the first time. What was done about the previous times?
Breanna, who testified against him at the trial, says she suspected Corey was being mistreated by his father.
What did you see? He had bruises, like, you know, if someone were to grab you, he had them on his arms, like fingerprint bruises. Wow. He had bruises on his forehead. He's had black eyes. I would ask him how he got it, and he was so afraid. He most of the time, he wouldn't tell me what happened. And whatever lie his father told him to say is what he would say to me.
I spoke with her at her mother's house, where Corey spent lots of time.
Here we are in Corey's grandmother's home in Englishtown, New Jersey. You could see his pictures hang on the wall here. Corey's mother says the abuse captured on the gym's surveillance camera was turned over to authorities a week before he died. She believes if they would have done something, he would still be alive.
She and Gregor were never married. In fact, she says they only had sex once. She says he despised her for a number of reasons and took it out on the boy.
I think he hated me because I didn't get an abortion. He didn't want to be a dad. I think it kind of was like forced on him by his family.
She blames not just Christopher Gregor for Corey's death, but she also blames the system that she says ignored her pleas for help.
The New Jersey father is accused in the death of his 6-year-old son, who allegedly died due to injuries that happened as a result of chronic child abuse. Now, on Tuesday, prosecutors presented this surveillance video of a visibly emotional Christopher Gregor walking out of the emergency room while nurses were scrambling to keep his son, Corey Micciolo, alive. Nurse Lindsay Carnevale, who helped treat the 6-year-old, described that moment to the jury.
What did the defendant say about Corey's symptoms before he was brought into the emergency room?
That he had been vomiting and he was complaining of leg and body pain.
Did the defendant leave room 6 of the emergency room?
He did.
And what was Corey's condition?
Corey was very sick. He mumbled a couple words to me.
We got this man that killed his son, making him, well, he had been abusing him for quite some time, but he made him run on a treadmill. Pay close attention. He is biting this little boy on the head. He is biting him on the head. Let's rewind that. Because at first, when I first saw this, I'm like, am I seeing things? Look, he's biting him. This freaking guy is a freaking animal. Let's rewind it one more time. This is crazy. He is biting him on the head. He deserves everything that he fucking gets. How do people do kids like this? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time, because I want to make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing. This guy is crazy. He is crazy. Let me see. I didn't rewind far enough. This guy is an idiot. He is an idiot. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. My God. I don't understand this. I don't understand it.
Up in the state of New Jersey, and this is a heartbreaking case. The defendant here is a 29-year-old man by the name of Christopher Gregor, and he's charged with the murder of his then 6-year-old little boy named Corey. The boy died back in April of 2021 as a result of blunt force trauma to the chest and the abdomen. Investigators also revealed that the defendant had abused Corey in March of 2021 in an incident where the little boy was made to run on a treadmill by Gregor, who repeatedly adjusted the speed which caused him to fall off.
And this defendant is being held without bail. He maintains his innocence, pleaded not guilty in this case. As we wait for a jury to be selected in this case, let's look back at the background on how we got here. Here's Court TV anchor Julie Grant.
So guys, this is my mommy.
Sweet baby.
Police say 6-year-old Corey Micciolo died at the hands of his own father. Christopher Gregor is charged with first-degree murder. Gregor is accused of forcing Corey to run on a treadmill, calling him too fat as he increased the speed, causing Corey to fall repeatedly. Investigators say video from Gregor's apartment gym shows the incident. Later, he brought Corey to the hospital, where he died from blunt impact injuries.
We all know what happened. If it was an accident, everything would be different.
Court documents say Gregor later Googled, "Can your phone be tracked in airplane mode?" He also searched how long after an autopsy to file charges.
We don't have the full context of what was being searched, why it was being searched. It could be completely innocent.
It's just not something a parent does. You don't leave your son at the hospital while he's dying.
Investigators say he fled the state after Corey's death. Months later, he was charged with endangering the welfare of a child. On March 9th, 2022, he was arrested for murder and pleaded not guilty. Corey's mom, Breanna Micciolo, says she made many reports of physical abuse to New Jersey Child Protective Services after Gregor came into Corey's life in 2019.
DCP&P should have done their jobs and we wouldn't be here right now.
She says she has faith in the prosecutors to bring justice for her son.
It's just so hard knowing what we know. I can basically use my mind and I can picture, it's horrible, but I just, from the autopsy report and knowing how Chris is and just, I can tell what happened that day. It's their jobs to prove it, and hopefully they can.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.